Now, the cost of living is what we often want to hear about when it comes to living in another country, especially the beautiful country of Belize. But you need to always keep in mind that it all depends on your own unique lifestyle. But it's always good to have a basic understanding of what the price of essential goods, renting a home if you don't own one, and the cost of utility are in Belize. They are valid questions when you're thinking of moving there. So in this vlog, we're going to cover these cost of living points of Belize in more detail to give you a better idea of where your own cost of living could potentially fall into if you were to live there. But you'll find that these 3 points in Belize are definitely more affordable than the United States. It's almost a given, and that's the rent, labor, and property taxes. But you may find that everything else is comparable or more expensive than the United States if you live like an American would. But if you live like a Belizean, you can potentially cut those costs dramatically, but most people don't. But let's look into the points in further detail coming now. Renting. Now this would probably be the biggest expense you'll need to pay for anywhere you go on this planet. So it's a great place to start for your cost of living. But first off, it all depends on which city or town you choose. For example, you can actually expect to pay as low as $500 USD per month for a 2-bedroom home in a small inland area in Belize. But on the opposite perspective, you might be paying around $1,200 USD for a 1-bedroom condo on the coast of Placentia and Hopkins or on the island of Ambergris Caye. So location is definitely big on how much you'll be paying. Now recently in Placentia, during this pandemic, there's been a drastic drop in the cost of rent. Many of the rentals that were once short-term aren't setting those high prices anymore like they did during the golden standard of tourism and are instead switching to long-term leases instead. There's obviously an increase in inventory for the reduced population of renters that is driving down monthly rent costs. An average 1-bedroom in the village is actually now down to about $700 USD, and a 2-bedroom would be around $1,000 USD a month as an example. But I'll have a more specific breakdown of apartment pricing later on in this vlog that will show you average pricing of a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, within city and out of city pricing later on. Utilities in Belize. Now electricity and hydro is known to be a bit pricey in Belize. The residential rate is about 45 cents per kilowatt. But you'll find that many of the locals live without the air conditioning. They're just used to not having it around, and some of the expats don't live with it as well. And if you do, you'll end up paying only $50 USD per month for a 2-bedroom apartment for electricity. But if you run that AC at night, you may see your bill averaging around $150 per month. Running the air conditioners all day could definitely inflate your electric bill. But there are some with deeper pockets where they splurge on air conditioning, and some that just decide to live in a smaller unit so it cools quicker and costs less, all to avoid those really sticky nights. But as long as you have those cross ventilation and a few fans, you'll still be very comfortable without air conditioning to avoid having your utilities get too high. Now, city water, on the other hand, is actually inexpensive, and there's also rain catchment as well. You'll be paying around $20 to $50 USD per month for it. And you'll find that you'll be paying about $25 to $80 for the internet ranges, just enough speed for emailing and Amazon Prime or Netflix. Now, high-speed broadband internet is a bit pricey at $150 per month. For those that like a little more for those gaming experiences, you can also get cable TV for around $30 USD per month with a lot of different channels, and phone bills come out to be about $50 per month. But the utilities overall on average will be around $150 for electricity, water, heating, and garbage charges every month. Your vehicle. Now you'll be paying around $200 USD per year for insurance, and a regulatory license is about $100 per year, and a driver's license is about $30 per year. You'll find that gasoline in Belize is a little expensive as well, ranging from $4 to $5 per gallon. But you could drive with diesel, which tends to be cheaper most of the time as an alternative. Your daily expenses. This again depends on which city or town you live in. The cost of fruits, vegetables, meat, and poultry will vary. The average household income for Belize Belizean family of 4 is around $700 a month. But keep in mind that Belizeans aren't really picky eaters, or they are just used to their homegrown food, and compared to the average North American, they're just fine with rice and beans, baked chicken, and fried plantain on a daily basis. Now, it is possible for a couple coming from North America to probably survive on $800 per month if you also live in your bought home, but $1,200 USD would be more reasonable. So if you were to calculate out the cost of living in Belize, it's actually overall still about 50% cheaper than the United States, according to a recent survey done by a bunch of expats. Now, you do have a choice to live like the locals, and if you do, the local produce is quite cheap. But if you do want imported items, it's obviously going to be much more. The average monthly grocery bill for a couple may vary between about $400 and $600. This also includes meals at reasonably priced restaurants once or twice a week. A combo meal at a fast food restaurant will cost you around $5 or so. A couple could spend to about $30 for a 3-course meal at a mid-range restaurant without alcohol, and more than $40 for a full meal with wine. We actually don't drink, but for those that do, most liquor stores stock reasonably priced domestic beer for $1.65, imported beer for $2.50, and mid-range wine for about $15. So you'll be saving like us if you don't drink. But now let's look at some of the expenses for some popular areas in Belize. So for an area like Placentia, you're looking at weekly groceries for 2 of about $80 to $110 USD per month. The monthly utilities, water, electric, TV, and internet, including air conditioning and bedrooms at night, would be $500 to $600 excluding gas, which is about $125 every 2 to 3 months. And as mentioned earlier, gas costs are expensive no matter where you go. It's closer to $5 a gallon, and if you have an SUV, it turns out to be about $200 per month if you like to drive a lot, like some people do in Belize. Gardener's wood for 2 to 3 days a week of work would be about $175 per month. Housemaids for 2.5 days a week would be $150 per month. But it's potentially possible for a couple to live very comfortably in Belize on $1,200 to $1,500 a month, plus whatever you spend on rent in the area of Placentia. Corozal. Now, Corozal is another popular place that has a coast, as in shore access to the sea, but no actual beach, as in sand, palms, and coconuts. You can still swim and have fun though, but just without the sand. You'll need to go to Placentia for the yellowish beaches, not quite white sand beaches where the grains are thicker than salt. Your feet get buried and it's nice to walk on. But anyways, let's get back to the cost of living, a little bit off topic. Now, it's not always about the beach, and if you like living near it, you'll be likely paying more for your cost of living. But Corozal is the name of both a district and a town in northern Belize, and it's close to the Mexican border as well. It's probably the area that gets the better weather than other parts of Belize, and it also has the biggest population of expats in northern Belize that has everything you need equal that to the larger town. You'll get the services, amenities, and community activities, yet with 13,000 people, it still has a small village feel, so that's what makes it so popular. It's inexpensive to live in Corozal. You'll find services and amenities at a range of price points, and in some cases, you'll find word-of-mouth deals for things like rent or even property purchases. You'll definitely have that choice of either renting or buying, and eventually find a place that is financially possible for you to live comfortably in Corozal. But of course, you just need to do your own footwork to find the place you want. But there are deals you can get as well, especially if you choose to live in bigger homes, but together with others, and how you might not mind it. There are tons of deals you can get as well, especially if you choose to live in bigger homes, but together with others, you may just end up paying for utilities with some maintenance work, but being completely rent-free. You'll find these deals here and there, all dependent on whether you want to live with another. But of course, there are those that have a lot more buying power and choose to live in a smaller but fancier, more recently built home but with a pool for about $1,750 a month. So the rental market does vary and is open, having those wide ranges in prices. But another point is you can also look at more of the traditional Belize style homes as well, where you'll find that the costs actually further drop compared to the North American built homes. You'll find that the Belizean made homes are much more reasonable. A small unfurnished 3-bedroom home with a nice yard in Corozal town might go for $300 to $400 a month. But if you're good with bargain hunting and negotiating, there are further ways to really drop your cost of living as well. And property taxes aren't too expensive either, some paying only $17 USD a month. Food, groceries, and eating out. Like mentioned earlier, you can keep your food costs down if you don't mind the local diet of beans and rice if you're happy with that. And a lot of people are perfectly fine with it. But if you prefer the American staples, you'll find that yes, it's more expensive. But it all depends on your unique needs. If food is important and you want to spend more on it, then maybe the trade-off is finding a cheaper place to live. But local grocery items like flour, rice, and sugar are inexpensive. So too are local fruits and vegetables at the outdoor markets. Chicken is a staple in the Belizean diet and is fairly low cost. You'll be paying about $3 for 30 eggs. But you can go to local butchers for meat where you can get beef, pork, fish, shrimp, and even salmon that are cheaper than the grocery stores. So you'll be spending about $100 a week for food, so keeping in mind that $100 a week for food is a good price range to begin with. Now you could always go and get American products at grocery stores, but it'll probably be an increase of about 25 to 50% on groceries, and that choice is up to you. But to keep the cost down even further, you shouldn't really care about the brands. So another way you can save some money is to find some talented local craftsmen to make things for you, like furniture and clothing. Just keep in mind that you'll be helping out the locals that way too. But the prices on the items do vary depending on the goods and your negotiation skills. But the household goods overall are comparable to US prices, and the appliances are actually more expensive. A medium quality toaster oven that would cost around $40 in the United States would cost about $50 to $60 in Belize. Your tech and entertainment. You'll find that all of the electronic stuff like computers are about the same as the United States. Now you do have the option to hook up satellite TV from the United States and Canada, but you'll be paying for the equipment plus $100 extra a month. But as mentioned in the beginning of the vlog, the 3 things you'll find that would definitely be affordable in Belize would be your rent, labor, and property taxes. The labor is much less in Corozal than it is in the United States. A gardener or house cleaner could be hired for $2.50 an hour. Mechanics, although affordable, the most they can usually do is change parts if you're just looking for minor repairs, and most of the garages actually don't have the proper equipment. But with a little searching, you can find more expensive shops with the right equipment as well. So the choices for cutting costs or paying more for better service for your vehicle are there as well. Taxes. Now for taxes, if you live in Belize, you actually aren't liable for Belize tax on any foreign earnings. General sales tax is actually high at 12.5%, but you'll find that there are no luxury, school, death, or inheritance taxes. But you do need to pay a departure tax every time you leave Belize. But this goes down once you become a Belize resident or citizen. But another great way that people are choosing to save money is by house sitting. There's actually a lot of it going on in Belize. Many people who own their housing use house sitters every year, while they live back home in the United States or Canada. So there's a lot of house sitting opportunities. You'll find with some searching over Google, you might be surprised by all of the options. You basically just have to write a bio of yourself that notes your homeowner experience. Like with pets and the kinds, could be dogs, cats, birds, exotic critters as examples that you've taken care of in the past. In most cases, homeowners use house sitters to take care of their pets, and they also look for useful skills such as property management or gardening. The more skills you have, the more likely you'll be hired for help. Some people for their bios even get original and make short videos of themselves as well, explaining all of their skill sets and some examples just to be different from the rest, just so they can prove the actual skills they have to offer. You'll be given some filters to choose from as well, like choosing to live anywhere, but you'll find that people who have been doing this for years or are experienced with this often book months in advance. But be aware, like anywhere else, that some homeowners are difficult to deal with or charge you for utilities, so you'd need to really be clear on what you'll be getting and what responsibilities you'll be doing. Now, there are some people that do house sitting full-time around the world, not just in Belize, but it's a great way to cut your costs if you can build that skill set most owners are looking for. It's also a great way to know the local Belize lifestyle as well. And to find out if it's a fit for you, you can even go as far as jumping from one area to the next to figure out which area fits you best, since each district has its own character, positives and negatives, and there are different seasons as well. But here is a summed up listing of all of the general costs of living in Belize, the main ones anyways, that anyone will encounter. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant would be $4.98, between $3 and $10 USD. A meal for 2 people at a mid-range restaurant for a 3-course meal would be $38, between $20 and $75 USD. Basic utilities for an apartment would be $95, between $50 and $150 per month, dependent on air conditioning usage that might be higher for others. The internet would be around $70, between $40 and $200 USD per month. An apartment 1 bedroom in city center would be $317, between $223 and $600 USD per month. An apartment 1 bedroom outside a city center would be $225, between $150 and $500 USD per month. An apartment 3 bedrooms in city center would be $750, between $396 and $1,500 USD per month. An apartment 3 bedrooms outside a city center would be $413, between $223 and $1,200 USD per month. Now, this next point I wanted to leave for the very end is an interesting offering by the Belize government for that potential expat, and it's called the Qualified Retirement Plan, or the QRP. Now, for this, keep in mind you'll always have the choice to become a Belizean citizen, but you'll need to go through their residency process. It may be painful for some, where you're required to renew your tourist visa every 30 days, and it's around $100 USD per month per person. But it's possible after 1 year of living in Belize full-time without leaving for more than 14 days, you can actually apply to become a permanent resident. Now, after 5 years, you can apply to become a Belizean citizen and gain nationality. So it seems all very straightforward, but the $100 per month per person is unavoidable. But another point to mention about this QRP is that it allows qualified individuals aged 45 and older to retire in Belize with some benefits. It's a pretty great plan where you can have all your things imported, like your vehicles, without paying any taxes or duty. But of course, you'll need to pay for the application and processing fee. That's about $1,350 plus another $750 for any dependents, spouse, or children under 18. But one thing though, you actually won't be able to work in Belize or become a Belizean. And finally, you also need to show proof of about $2,000 per month in an account in Belize. So you can do so by showing dividends, annuities, and of course Social Security as well. Forms a passive income stream. But you'll find as a family, couple, or even a single person living in Belize, you'll find that the overall cost of living is far less than it is in the United States. And on top of all this, you'll have this relaxed lifestyle surrounded by all of the beautiful sights. Well, tell me what you think of the cost of living in Belize in 2022 in the comment section below. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. Be free, gain wealth, and travel far.